Okay. Okay. Again, thank you for sitting down and conducting this interview with me. I'm really nervous, but okay, here we go. My name is Kat. I am doing a final paper in sociology where we could pick any topic that we want. And the topic that I wanted to pick is life during the civil rights era and the similarity between then and now. Okay, so my name is Kat, and okay, and then you, Brain. Sorry, I'm really nervous. Okay, okay, here you go.
And who are you interviewing, Kat?
Oh yeah, who am I interviewing? Okay, you could right now. You can have the chance to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Henry L. Wallace V, Chairman of San Diego Original Black Panther Party for Community Empowerment.
Okay, here is the first question that I have. When was the original Black Panther Party formed?
October 15th, 1966.
October 15th, 1966. For what purpose was the original Black Panther Party started?
It was started because of the situation that we find ourselves in right now is police brutality within people of colors neighborhoods. Back then it was definitely blacks because all the different groups was isolated from one another. For some reason, the powers that be decided that they would create a division among the different groups so that they'll feel as though those people's complaining about nothing, and we didn't want to hear nothing about what's happening in the Hispanic side, and the Hispanics didn't want to hear nothing what's happening in the Asian side, and all around. The white area was the dominant race as far as they was concerned, and so everybody so split up that they would go around and brutalize various cultures. And so after the Black Panthers came about and we decided to go to the forefront of the civil rights movement and started educating people that the same things that's happening in our community is also happening in your community. And from there we set off a movement, and that's when the Black Panther Party became the vanguard of the revolution.
Okay. How long have you been with the original Black Panther Party?
Since 1967.
1967, okay. In what ways has the original Black Panther Party provided justice to the community?
Could you say that again? Because you backed away from the mic.
Oh, yeah. In what ways has the original Black Panther Party provided justice to the community?
Oh, by education and by actions. We not only talked, we did the walk. We actually put together programs that people could see that actually worked, such as the food program that we continue right today, which turns later on to be the WIC program the government adopted. Educational programs we brought to the forefront about education, that our communities were getting substandard education, even though they had Brown versus School Board back in the day. It still was unequal because they was teaching us stuff out of old antiquated books while they was teaching the white areas the up-to-date stuff. So we established a lot of things back then.
It was a good thing you mentioned that because that was actually the next question I was just about to ask. What kind of programs that are around now that the Black Panther Party have originated?
Well, a whole lot of programs are still around, but the government took over a lot of them after we left. They started revisiting the education, even though they're doing a poor job because our education system is failing all of our students, not just blacks, but all the students, all the various racial groups, which tell you something about capitalism. If you go into a private school, you'll get the best education. But if you go into public school, you're going to get substandard because remember, they got to have subservience, people that will be doing the in the field work, the grind work, you know, such as janitors and auto mechanics and delivering the mail and all that stuff. So they don't want you to know the education that's going to make you 7 figures or more, which you can see the explosion of it, the very rich. So they got to keep people ignorant so that they'll do the grunt work. And so, yeah, a lot of our programs are still around, but unfortunately they failed the education part of it. We had free health care. We have given out food, which San Diego original Black Panther Party for community empowerment and still got that program going.
Yeah. I remember because when I was a kid, I actually had the free lunch program when I was in middle school. So
Right.
yeah. So
Those
it
programs come
personally
from
rich.
Black Panther.
Yeah, which, and it's one of the things that's wrong with the education system because everything I learned about the Black Panthers and about Black history, I had to learn my own. In school, all they really taught me was that they were slaves, and that was it. I had to
Right.
learn everything else on my own.
Well, you got more than I did because I didn't even know Black people existed in the real world.
Yeah, when I was growing up in school, well, growing up, I was a product of a Black mother and a Black white father. So in school, I was treated like I was ignorant, unholy. So
Right.
I had a really hard time trying to adjust to school life while also staying true to myself.
Right. And that's the whole thing. They want to hold you down. Because when I was coming through school, all they taught us was that blacks was dumb and stupid, and they were
Yes.
low life to people. All the cartoons that was on TV, whenever they put a black on there, they had them with big lips, big extended lips, and the eyes was bulging and stereotyped. And it was, oh, sir, oh, master. They was ingraining that into our people. And then the same thing with the movies. Whenever you see a black on a movie, 9 times out of 10, they were playing a servant, you know, to the whites, and they had to, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You know,
Like
in other
Gone with the
words,
Wind.
yeah, you had to be inferior. And they taught inferiorness. Now, not only did they teach it to blacks, they taught it to whites because they fed that stuff to the whole population so that they would make sure that they would keep everybody under control.
Okay, let's see. Do you feel that the Black Panther Party has made an impact in the community?
Oh, definitely. Uh, our stories is widespread. People have uh, access to our stories. Back then, the government tried to demonize us, but as the world got a little bit better, and they realized that what the Black Panther Party was doing was trying to help this country to get to where it should have been healed a long time ago out of slavery. Now they realize the Black Panther Party did some of the work that needed to be done. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. I got
It's
this
okay, I
phone.
don't mind at all.
Oh, it's behind the computer. Okay. All right.
Okay, here we go. What are some memorable interactions that you had with the Black Panther Party, positive or negative?
Positive, I don't remember no negativeness other than the rivalry of certain civil rights groups. Other than that, the Black Panther Party was a good educational tool for me. They taught me how to grow my vocabulary. They taught me how to present myself in front of people and to be strong in my convictions about our community not be brutalized by the police department. And those are some of the things I use right today. I know that I'm a man. I know that I'm not a servant to anyone. And as I move around, I try and show this to the people as I move around in life, you know, to show them that you don't have to be ignorant. We shouldn't be killing each other. We should be trying to educate our kids. we should be trying to grow our kids. And so that's my main takeaway from the Black Panther Party. It taught me how to be a real human being.
Okay. So there were two recent movies that came out that had been snubbed by the Oscars. One of them is called Judas and the Black Messiah, and the other one's called The Trial of the Chicago Seven, which featured the betrayal of Bobby Seale and that, to most people, horrific scene where he was bound and gagged in front of the white jury. How do you feel that? How do you feel the betrayal of Black Panthers in the Trial of the Chicago Seven and Judas and the Black Messiah have sort of lived up to the justice of the Black Panther Party?
Well, I don't know about that part of it. What it did for me was confirm what we already knew. So it was great to see it in cinema, but we actually lived through it. I lived through it. You know, the when Fred Hampton got murdered in his apartment, and when he's bound and gagged Bobby Seale. You know, so it was already in my memoir. We knew what had happened. The thing that we didn't know was that the government was fully engaged in trying to destroy our movement, to educate the people and show the people that they are the power behind the government. The government was just taking your tax dollars and telling you what to do. And when we paying our tax dollars, we actually hire you to work for us. So how are you gonna take our tax dollars and kill us with it? So they was trying to stop us from educating the people and let them know their rights.
Okay, tell me more. Oh, tell me more. Okay, sorry, I'm real nervous.
That's
Tell
all
me,
right.
so if you can, could you explain more about your? Okay, what was it like living through civil rights era? What was it like having to prove yourself to the man?
Well, it was much like today. I mean, the killings that going on, if you don't take control of the situation and get out in the streets and let them know that this is unacceptable behavior, then they're going to keep on doing it. And it was like that. It was even more so back then because they really felt they had a right until they felt the power of the people. When they felt the power of the people, then that's when they start backing up. You see, the people started rebelling against the status quo. In other words, we can't go in there whipping on them Negroes like they, because we was Negroes then. We can't go out there whipping on them Negroes like we used to, because they finna burn some shit up. And see, that's what happened. Is once people realized that they had the power, they said, "Give me liberty or give me death." That was the founding fathers' words right there. You see, and our words were, I'd rather die standing on my feet than die bending on my knees. So, in answer to your question, we just had to take charges. It's the same thing that's going on today, but it was worse then. I see little changes here and there, but we have to stay on top of it. The George Floyd was straight up coming out the closet to let you know what these fools really do in real life. And the only way it happened is if people keep their cameras on them. People start telling it like it is. Look at what happened to Emmett Till. They covered that up for a long time.
Yeah, and I remember like one time when I was in my senior year of high school, most of the kids in my school, they had no idea about Emmett Till. And
No,
I literally did this trifold where I literally had the pictures of Emmett Till and more about the experience of what happened to him. And all the kids in the class, they were like trying to look away from the picture. And I was like, don't look away from the picture. This is my history. I respect your
right,
history. Please respect mine. Uh,
right. That's right. That's right. You gotta bring it to them, and they don't like that. They've
yeah,
been
and the school, they still have my trifold up, like when you walk in. So, a little victory right there.
right, right. Yeah, because they'll spoon feed these children, and government has to be out of the schools. They need to let these teachers teach the truth. Stop giving them guidelines to teach the kids what to do. They need to tell them the truth.
In light of the recent events involving police brutality against Black Americans, do you notice a similarity between the events during the Civil Rights era and now?
Bring that question again.
Sure. In light of the recent events involving police brutality against Black Americans, do you notice a similarity between the events between the Civil Rights era and now?
Yeah, there definitely is. The thing that's changed is that they're starting to get an understanding that they can't go out and do the shit that they used to do. The powers that be, especially the capitalists, see that anything that these fools do ignorantly to the population going to come back on them. Because you notice that if they kill somebody or something, people go out there and burn. And the capitalists, the people that's in power, don't want that to happen. So what happens is they tell these people, you need to try and find a way to do this without hurting people or whatever. So I'm just praying that they learn their lessons and stop this madness, because it don't make no sense. Why are you killing Black people, people of color, for what? What is it? We are the ones paying you to be our protection. And
We
so
pay you to protect us, so why aren't you protecting us?
yeah, why aren't you protecting us? Who are you protecting? I mean, that you feel you got to kill us. So it's starting to change, because back in the day it was sanctioned by the government for the police to do what they do now. You got some red states where the governors kind of give the police hands-off approach until people start burning and tearing shit up. Then they want to get on TV talking about, oh, why the Black Lives Matter doing what they doing?
Black Lives Matter protests are so violent. Just look at them.
Yeah, but look at what y'all doing to make them violent.
Exactly. People think all the time that all these brutal protests are done by Black Americans. No, it's not. They're mainly white people. Like it's just at the January 6th insurrection. They think that Black Lives Matter protesters started that, when it really was just a bunch of Trump supporters and a bunch of white
It was
Americans.
no Black Lives Matter at all involved in it. I know the Trump supporters just
Exactly.
laugh. I know they just sitting up there. They stupid. I mean, everybody knows. But see,
Everybody knows that BLM was nowhere close to that.
right?
They weren't even in the same state.
Right. They just want to. It's just like saying Black Lives Matter or the Black Panther Party putting on Ku Klux Klan outfits, going out killing blacks.
And they don't know that it's the white man who wears those cloths, not Black Panther Party.
But see, they used to a stupid population. That's why they want them to have inferior education. If they have inferior education, then they believe that the government is real and they could tell them any kind of lies.
Okay. And what you just mentioned earlier was actually going to lead to my next question. As someone who's lived through the civil rights era, have you experienced any of the horrifications that Black Americans have experienced? Have you experienced having the dogs unleashed on you and having the hose sprayed at you? Have you ever had any experiences just like I've described?
No, personally, I never did. I never did. I watched it happen to other people, but no, it never happened to me. I was always like, when I went into Black Panther Party, I was 15, 16 years old. So I learned that, and plus that, I was a student. I mean, a person that believed in going to school and staying out the streets, and if you do drugs, it might fry your brain and all that stuff. And so I carried myself in a more mature way when I was out there on the streets. I always respected the police and their job and all that stuff. So I never had that kind of problem. But someone that don't know and they think that, that they have a certain right or something, and these police, you get these ignorant police that come out of the backwoods of Georgia somewhere, they figure that you should be a servant. And so they talk to people like that, and a lot of folks ain't gonna be talked down to, especially in California. But as far as myself, I never had that experience. But I thank God I had the experience of the civil rights movement itself.
Okay. As someone who has lived through the civil rights era, what did that look like in San Diego comparable to that of southern states?
It looked just like the southern states. San Diego, San Diego is, they call it the little Mississippi. Here, the blacks is only between 5 and 6% of the population. And so the majority of the people here, whites, Mexicans, whatever, don't really know about blacks in that way. They see them here and there, you know, but other than that, they don't see them. It's relatively a quiet city.
Okay. As being a member of the original Black Panther Party, did you experience any discrimination as a member of the Black Panther Party?
Oh, definitely. I get that right today. You know, people see me with my Black Panther shirt on or beret or something, especially when I go to get food. I mean, they be like moving away, you know, or they over there whispering in the corner and all that. And I know it make them uncomfortable, but they got to be faced with the facts. You know, the Black Panther Party is here to get food to take the people out on the street, low income, poor people, and I don't give a damn what you think about it. We're here to do our job. And so, yeah, you have them, they won't even speak or nothing, you know, but I got to do my job.
What about as a Black man?
As a black man, some of them call me cocky because I got some kind of education that I can move around the world and do what I got to do. They're not going to manipulate me when it come down to business or anything like that. And so, yeah, I'm pretty good.
Okay. For some of our younger readers who don't know, what was it like living during the civil rights era?
Well, you had to know your place, basically. You know, prior to the civil rights, you had to know your place. So, in the civil rights, you starting to be empowered to be the citizen that you should have been, which is a citizen of the United States. So, you take your rights and you walk in those rights. You don't go above them or below them, but you let them know that, you know, man, I'm just as much of a citizen in this country as you are. You know, I have rights to drink out the water fountain. I have rights to walk into a restaurant and order something to eat. I have rights to go into my courthouse that I pay taxes for. So, you know, you have to re-educate yourself and walk in those powers that were granted to you through the Constitution.
So, some some people who don't know much about don't know as much as we know about police brutality back during the civil rights era. And the first example that they think of when they think of police brutality back then is the Rodney King incident, where five cops, they they hit him with a baton, they brutally beat him just because he was a Black man. Do you notice a difference in between that? Have you noticed a point in time where the police back then have acted in a way that the police act now? Have you noticed a similarity?
Yeah, there is a similarity. They act the same basically when they feel as though they have the power to subdue you. They go over the top when it come down to black folks. Very rarely do they use it on white folks, but black folks, they're gonna give you a little time with you know, trying to, you know, work with you to get you to do what they want you to do. But you give them any reason to beat on you, they go all out. They go like apes and monkeys on you. So nothing changed as far as that part of it. Let me I don't have much more time. I got appointment in about 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, of course. I only have 3 more questions and that's it. They're short questions.
Okay.
Okay. What programs are there? Are there any programs that you want to tell us about to get the word out? Any programs that haven't been brought to the public eye?
Oh, in San Diego?
Yes.
Okay, are we talking about San Diego County?
Either in San Diego or worldwide.
Yeah, well, the program that I push is the food program. Is that if people can help feed people, they should. If they can connect with stores or food banks or whatever to help get food to people, there are people out there literally dying, not able to get any foods, especially in Africa and Asia, India, places like that. They need to make that commitment to help feed the people. But the program that I push here is the food program in San Diego.
Okay. For some of our viewers who don't know, how can they get a hold of the programs that are available in San Diego?
They just go to our website, look up a San Diego Original Black Panther Party for community empowerment, and they can reach out to me through there.
Okay. Here's the last question that I have. Is there any advice that you would give to inspire Black youth who feel like they've been treated unfairly by a broken system?
Know your rights. Educate yourself. Go to schools. Don't take nothing for granted. When you go to school, if you don't understand something, don't sit back like a wallflower like you doing something wrong. You speak up. You tell that teacher that your tax dollars are paying, that you don't understand what he is saying or she is saying, and that they need to let you know what it is. Do not sit back and just let them people ramrod you through school. You need to learn everything. That way you're able to compete and you will be able to help your people to compete.
Okay. And then you guys are still holding meetings now, social distance, right?
No, we're not holding any meetings at this point. The food program is what we run on, period. You know, when we decide to develop another program, then we'll start having meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that was all the questions that I've had. Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and do this interview with me.
You are very welcome. And I hope everything comes out for you all right at school.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you get to your appointment in time.
Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, I'm very good at that. Take care. God bless you, okay?
God bless you too. Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.